Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on WINNMedia 98.9.
Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Azem, featuring Jade, Gwen, Crossing Crude, Gwenisha, Gwyneth Johnson.
You have something to say to the people, Jade?
Hi.
No, come better than that.
Come on. These people
Good
came
morning.
here. Yes.
Welcome back.
Morning.
How dare you be fast and not crude?
I understand. Hey, watch out. That has to be one of the most.
Yes.
Indeed. That name matches perfectly, Jay.
Yeah, it does. I tell you, Jay look very, very goodish.
You know, one of the things, though, I think we might have discussed this here, but Kititians do have a knack for issuing nicknames.
Especially if you're notorious for a specific something, that would become your name for the rest of your life.
Yeah, people talk about Jamaicans, but no. Jamaicans will just take something you're doing and then say it twice. Girly.
Yeah.
Bossy. No. We have names. Dog hat, monkey bum. Yeah.
And they are embraced when they're given too.
And then you do have the The occasional bow.
Yeah, the
Kev bow.
Kevbo, T-Bo,
T-bow. Mm-hmm.
Asbo.
I mean, we had like, and then we just take inanimate objects and then assign them to people based on physical attributes, like mapstick.
I remember this girl I went to school with.
Not wrong with
They
mapstick.
used to call her Penny.
Penny. I can see her now.
Call her Penny.
Yeah.
It was first heads a penny. Don't know what that meant.
Heads up. See what I'm talking
It
about?
was heads a penny.
See what I'm talking about?
Then it moved to penny. And then they actually just changed it to heads because penny was a little too long for everybody to do. So just changed it to heads.
There's a
They sound like bullying.
There's a lot of
It
heads.
probably was.
Yeah, they sound like bullying, trust me.
And that girl right now has learned resilience.
She has. She has.
I bet you she's just like a very strong individual.
Alright, let's go. We're gonna go with that. Wait, my head small? My gosh.
Let me ask you a question.
No.
Do you believe that as part of a rite of passage as a child is dealing with that type of adversity in your school life?
What, like
Bullying?
the nicknames?
Like,
Or the bullying?
well, I mean, of course, everything to a certain extent.
The taunting. Let's call it.
Yeah, taunting.
The taunting and teasing.
I think that's important. I do believe it's important.
In a perfect world, it would be nice to do without, but I think it.
I think it's actually necessary.
It gives you. It
Let me put it this way, Jade.
builds up a bit of a resistance.
It has to be like, how is it that you expect to go through life having not ever learned how to put things behind you?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know if that's what it made me. I think it made me mean.
So you admit that you are mean.
Yeah.
right. So I think more importantly than actually trying to stamp out the taunting is that the truth is what we need to do is to teach conflict resolution, and we need to teach compartmentalization and putting things in its proper place. For instance, like sometime I had a friend, her daughter comes home and kids teasing her in school. Right? Now, the mother would have used that as a teachable moment. Right? Like, very responsible. Now, at the same time, I had friends who, in similar moments, would have told the children, me say school go be no punk, you know me why be no. You understand? Like, I think it's more about because again, this is why I think it's important as well. We will never be able to control the actions of others.
Yep.
Nope, we can't.
So I don't know why we go and say, well, oh, why this got to happen? This shouldn't happen. No. What needs to happen is we need to
in the face?
we need to also learn.
Jade.
I thought that's what never.
We need to also learn how to deal responsibly. We talked about this yesterday, Jade. You want to people in the face now?
As a child, I did.
Nothing wrong with wanting to, but
No,
having.
listen to
but,
what as a child, I did.
yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Not wanting to. As a child, I did.
That's what I'm saying. There's
No,
nothing wrong with
You see,
wanting to.
Here's my thing. As a
I
child,
didn't
you
want to. I
did
did
as
it.
in you did it, or
Yeah,
you
that's-
did as
that's-
in you
that's-
wanted.
that's
I
fine.
had to.
Okay.
That's fine too.
Because
I mean,
you know why I had to? I used to be bullied a lot because when I used to live with my grandmother most of my life until 11, which is most of my life, and I moved to my cousin's house, and they noticed that I wasn't much of somebody that fought or resolved conflicts because I didn't have to
So they push you around.
a lot, and that in turn just made me very aggressive. So if you bully me, I would just stomp you.
Oh,
Like, man,
okay.
I'm not I couldn't deal with it for long because I had to deal with it at home. So coming to school to deal with it too was like, nah, we're not gonna get this anger.
and the thing about it too, right? I think that a lot of times when people take the situation to a level where one of the parties didn't really expect it to go, it usually ends there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, if you were to really get into a fight with some of the bullies, they'll probably whip you. Eh? But bullies know when they're bullying. Bullies know when they're bullying. It's like, okay, let me go on to fight here.
You think? You think? Thanks, sweetie. Yes, my earring is the Rastafari.
Oh, yeah, the lion one's
Yeah.
nice. Lion of Africa. But yeah. We're speaking about, of course, parents and thing. But I do believe there's a lot of parents who deal with these situations quite differently.
You ever hear it? You ever hear?
So that is what I'm that is what I'm getting at. It's about using these moments as teachable moments, but of course understanding what the lesson should be.
You ever hear the lesson? Don't let nobody beat you, or I can beat you.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
But no, that was my thing.
Oh.
And I don't have a problem with that.
It's either you win this fight with this person or you win this fight with me. Which one?
Like I get it, but at the same time,
I don't know if that's the best.
it's a bit hostile, you know. Like
It's a bit.
No, my thing is, look, this is the position as I understood it. If you start a fight, it's gonna be me and you. But if you lose a fight, it's gonna be me and you.
Oh.
You understand?
Well, start and lose, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So don't trouble nobody children.
With your violent hair?
I ain't send you school for that.
With your
Boom, boom,
violent
boom.
hair?
I don't even know. I want to know what she's saying. To be quite honest.
I'm scared.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so like don't start a fight, don't lose a fight. It was very simple. As a matter of fact, fighting was not in any way encouraged. However,
In your household?
right. However,
Oh, nice.
however, hitting may have been encouraged. See, the difference with a fight is that there is probably a chance of you getting hit back, and it's this exchange of blows. No, that wasn't really no.
Must be nice.
It
That
was.
wasn't your cup of tea.
That was not no. It
Listen,
was like, for instance, my father, when he would teach defense, was not. But I kind of different from my father too. 'Cause he was a practice karate. So it was about
Defense, more defense. I
not
guess.
only not defense in terms of like parrying, boxing. No, is doing the bare minimum to end the conflict as quickly as possible.
Okay.
You ever hit somebody in the nose bridge?
Oh.
No.
Exactly.
And you know, guess what? Here's the thing. And even if I did, I wouldn't have said it on the air because a lawsuit might have been coming because the person would be like, me, I'm a forget you box me in the face. You know?
Nothing wrong with that, man. Box for nothing.
Well, I don't want to go to court
Listen.
for it right now. So
Those my skills had to come in handy to protect not only myself but my friends and my siblings. Okay.
So what y'all are saying is that y'all understand that sometimes
Yeah. Sometimes
violence is the appropriate answer.
Sometimes
Well-
I choose violence.
Oh, you see, they know when I talking things about maybe bullying necessary and so I watching me like a crazy.
no, well, for
Okay.
me, it's like, you know,
You see how Kevon coming out here and try like when I'm in real life? You see how
don't do this.
Anyway, continue.
Don't-
We're gonna
don't do
listen.
me
I
like
think
this.
you also have to know who you're dealing with.
This
eh?
is a pre-recorded video. This live stream is recorded and I will take you to court.
0 from 0, friend.
9. But I sometimes think, well, for me, you know, self-defense is necessary.
Yes.
You know, and I think I'm of the mindset that hitting me will result in a consequence. I don't start fights. I will not start a fight. However, if you put me in a position where you are begging me to fight,
Yes, you
I will.
you happy it? Okay.
Because okay, let's say I'm at a party, right? And somebody come up to me and box me with my neck. I'm not instantly going to result to fight, and I'm gonna first try to figure out quickly what just happened. So like I'm gonna turn around because you know sometimes the bull ring happen. If it's a bull ring, then it's just like I
It's a
kind of
consequence of you being in the place.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
upset because I get hit, but
Yeah.
you know I know where I am.
Right.
So I will quickly try to figure out what just happened.
and stuff like that, like you can't
Right.
really.
But if somebody is literally targeting me to box me, what do you want me to do?
Which is violence is not the answer. But if the question is rhetorical, I will place face to face is the full stop.
You know.
Witty, I like you.
The thing about it for me too, right, is that it's easy for us to say these things, but a lot of times this is not necessarily how it plays out. I'll give you an example. Let's use the party thing, right? So yeah, you get the boxing neck, boom. You turn around with all intentions to say, well, somebody can get this. Somebody can get this. You turn around, depending on who is facing you at that point, could really change the could really change the decisions that you make. You know, it's very impactful.
Honestly,
if I turn around and it's Mike Tyson, I'm sorry.
Well, we do.
I'm sorry, Mike. What happened? My neck was in the way of your fist. I am so sorry.
Oh my gosh,
if Mike
how could I
Tyson was
place
there,
myself?
I wouldn't even. I just say back to me again and done.
No. Because the second one, you might.
No, that's over.
No, because by trying to beg, I might end up getting a more
I don't
intentional
think
one.
asking a boxer to box you is going to.
Well, I mean, he boxed me already. So what I do?
It's kind of like I've been in situations before where I have responded aggressively and knew in the back of my head, okay, if such and such is to happen, I will run away very quickly. Like you just say there's certain triggers that will be like.
You draw some lines in the sand.
Yeah, and you realize afterwards that you drew those lines very quickly. Like you don't, like it's almost automatic.
I think I've only had one situation like that, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, listen, it happened. I'm really sure if I prepared it.
But here you are, so you know.
Resilient.
Like imagine somebody is thing. For instance, you could be there, you got all kind of talk, asking all kind of questions like, yo, what going on with the boom, brandishing a weapon changes everything at that moment.
You brandish a weapon. I am so sorry. You want me to get you a drink? I saw you were drinking earlier vodka cranberry. I'll get you one. Don't worry about
at this
it.
point, like,
I done it. Not me and that. Honestly, not me and that. Truthfully, because no.
Somebody said I got to leave us because violence is never the answer. Never a good answer, never the answer. Which is true. It's never. Well, you know.
Everything is an answer. It just depends if it's a good one.
Yeah,
right?
and then also I think what happens is there are some times where the situation the person you're dealing with, they give you a multiple choice, and then sometimes it's just a theory answer. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yikes.
Sometimes it's a fill in the blank, and there's only one right answer.
Oh, yeah.
There's only one possible answer
Listen,
that works.
I call him police.
Yeah.
Yeah. At some point, you just get to a point where it's like, nah, I'm doing all this.
No,
I'm calling a lawyer and the police.
Yeah,
well, yeah, sometimes you must recognize that the person's intention is fair to not be able to call anyone ever again.
Fair.
That's different.
Exactly.
That's a different situation. Okay, but you love violence, okay? Violence is a...
Deal with people with grace and love, guys.
Yes.
If
them.
somebody swing after you, hug.
Them.
Give somebody a virtual hug today.
And an elbow bump.
An elbow bump, indeed.
Yes, we don't
keep your distance. Put on your mask. Stop it.
It is still weird for me trying to figure out which one is the person I'm about to interact with, which one they're comfortable with. So there's these times when like people will come and try to give me the daps and I do the kind of elbow. So what I do is like preempt the elbow like very early.
Oh, you give them the elbow.
I brandish the elbow very early in the interaction. So then, this is where I'm going with this.
Okay. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I know. I just straight up tell people I'm not comfortable touching your hand.
Yeah, but then sometimes it's too late because they don't start to touch you.
Well, why would they touch my hand if my hand's unavailable?
Let me tell you something, right?
No, what I just do is I put my hand in my pocket.
I'm not that.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I usually have my hands in my pocket,
energy.
or I would have them folded if I'm meeting somebody, let's say randomly on the street, and somebody would put out their hand to dabs, and I would say, I'm really sorry, but I'm not comfortable touching you, touching your hand right now. And they'd be like, okay, cool, sorry. Then sometimes they would present the elbow as an alternative, or I would present the elbow. Oh, just don't bother, leave me alone.
I don't just like ignore whatever part of the body is outstretched and reply with a head nod.
Somebody said
the head nod. The head nod does save you. Just be like, hey.
Somebody asked if you just say if somebody swing after them, must give them a hug.
Yeah, I did. I said it.
Yeah, a nice beer hug.
Just hug and say you are smart, you're kind, you're important.
Yes.
This is not legal advice. Just a disclaimer.
Take it or leave it.
It's a suggestion.
For what it's worth.
It's a suggestion.
And a good one at that. Yes, a good one
okay.
at that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, what's going on in the world? on this beautiful Wednesday. It's Wednesday already, you know? My God.
Gosh, I don't even remind me. Huh?
The week is halfway done.
Well, okay. Yeah. Whoops. Here we are. It is Wednesday, July 21st. Miam.
July done, right?
Exactly.
It is.
July
Right.
just float. July was like, I'm not
Did I
dealing with all of this.
read
I gone.
Yesterday, did I not say July 1st?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so Wednesday, July 21st is the date of today. The time is also 8:22 a.m. And if you are trying to reach us to join in on the conversation, here are the numbers that you can call. 466-0989, 662-0989, 762-0989, and the overseas numbers are 718-285-6984 or 305-921-4619. Okay, I will try
Well
my
done.
best to
Well done.
remember to give you these numbers at least when conversations are
when you
happening.
remember?
Well, when we open up the lines for calls.
You know, I had remembered and I had forget.
Yeah.
So I'll try my best. If you are calling, please keep it short. If
And
you are
on
calling,
topic.
please keep it on topic.
Anyway.
If
The
you are
calls been doing a lot
calling,
better with that.
Yeah, they do.
They've been doing a lot better.
yeah, definitely. But
After Jade abused him after one time.
I did no such thing.
Right.
also, if you are calling for the first time or for the first time in a long time, keep in mind that we are on the air daily. So sometimes we might have discussed topics that you weren't listening to at the time. So
Yeah.
sometimes we've already talked about it. So calling to ask us to talk about it is a bit unfair to other listeners.
And sometimes we
So-
will get to talk about. We will.
Sometimes
talk
we
about it.
revisit too, you know.
But
But
not only that, like sometimes we have like on the run sheet, we can get to it. But I know
Yeah.
y'all sometimes want to talk
Yeah,
about things
ready.
one time.
but
Actually, just let these people know that we all went through the day program and we learned to just say no. So it's fine.
Did the program work?
didn't it?
For who?
That's the question. It worked, but for who?
I don't know.
We.
Do you deny that it worked
It didn't work for me.
for you? Somebody might have taken the day program way more seriously than you did.
Yikes.
Hey,
Who it was? Officer Maguire and Officer.
I think I had Maguire.
Maguire
It
and
was somebody
Maguire
else.
and the other clear dude, the other clear one.
Yeah.
When I was in school, I don't remember.
I remember there was a joke about
Them days,
Maguire.
any other kind of police work, right?
My man, I know.
Like all these schools.
Maguire used to do something that I don't think he realized, but every child knew he did.
What?
I'm not gonna say it on here because he can come arrest me.
Tell me, message in the chat. I want to see if I remember.
Let me do it quick.
But
Oh, man.
you know, I remember from the other books. What was the mascot again? The book was there.
A lion is a lion with
Like-
A big chest lion.
a big chest lion, like a Johnny Bravo looking
Like
lion.
he just don't do legs
Yeah,
in the gym.
like
he just
Johnny
go gym
Bravo.
every day and do chest.
He was a Johnny Bravo lion with a black shirt on with the day on it.
And the book was like police uniform, girl.
Ew.
I don't remember. To be honest, I don't really remember much about it.
Me though. Because I know you work at all.
I just remember being in
Like,
the,
I
in the
think I'm pretty
sessions.
close to what they were promoting in there, but I just really don't remember there, so don't want to think you have a...
Yeah,
I
because you
don't
need to pay attention. You don't know your life was going to go down the road that I was.
Oh
trying to
my
prevent.
gosh.
That really was never
Yeah.
appealing to me at all.
Ooh, okay.
I'm I like to be very present mentally, so you just don't like
I
things
don't.
that take me away from that clothe me don't really
Must be
appeal to me
nice,
at
huh?
all.
Living life.
Clear?
Yeah, I just
Just-
it
What
lot of
did I
people-
say about it? Living life, something.
it don't appeal to me.
Just.
Like I'm very much.
If I drink alcohol, Azem don't drink alcohol.
Yeah, but
All these things is what he's talking about. He don't drink alcohol at all.
Well, Jade, that doesn't count.
Oh, really?
That is juice. That
the
is-
man is it for sucker puppy.
That is juice. Okay. Here's my thing. If you pour it in a Ribena box, it becomes Ribena.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, so it's like water. It takes the shape
Takes-
of whatever. Ah.
Exactly.
Yikes.
If I pour it in a milk carton, it's milk. You might just ask me, what kind of milk is this? Oh, sparkling milk.
Sparkling milk.
Yikes. I don't have. Anyway.
But who
Look,
are
if
you? How
that's-
do you tell me I'm
If
wrong?
that's how
I'm
he
not.
lives, if that's how he lives his life,
We're for it. We're for it. You're an adult, a consenting adult. So,
I'm very,
yeah, I realized there was a lot of cases over this weekend where a lot of people were seemingly locked up for child charges. I didn't add the one that I saw yesterday because I saw another one. It was to do with some
There's a lot.
professional footballer.
Yeah,
I'm
essentially.
like, what's going on? What's going on?
This, listen.
nothing. Just hot right now.
Yeah.
I think, what you mean locking them up? Hot?
No, that's been happening all the time. The
The
reporting. on it.
reporting,
Oh.
the media has been focusing on it
Look,
a bit.
let me tell you
more.
something, right? This is what happened all the time, and it's been horrible since
Ouch.
Trump. Since Trump last election, it's like
They know what to talk
they
about.
know what to talk about now. So it just
You know?
like they just getting these like
There's a lot
flood of
of
things.
there's a
to
lot
make
of
it
aimless news.
to make it and not only that, like they're centralizing around certain topics to make it seem like, oh my god, this is the issue.
It's been an issue, bro. Oh man, what did the lion there for?
I told you. Like the thing is too. Like you know what the latest trend is with news
That
is
person got a tattoo on the shoulder.
like countries are now reporting the obvious.
COVID?
You know, millennials and Gen Z can't afford rent. Duh. Oh my
Right.
gosh, the economy is up and billionaires have hold 1% of the duh. Like we all like why this and then you know what I saw the other day? An article was posted that a study recently found that cops were more likely to be aggressive towards black persons that they stopped that were black. And I'm just like, oh my god, we needed a study for that? We needed a study for that? Did I need a study to know that Kevon only needs to wear sweatpants?
Shocking, isn't it?
I mean, observation alone will tell you.
Listen, y'all just don't know what to talk about. Neither do we.
I
But
just about to say
the difference is
we never said that we know what we were talking about. That's true. I'm happy we never pushed this show as like
a news source because we
our sense. Yeah, because you know. That would've
remember
failed.
Jade, too much sense it becomes $1.
But let's see what's happening in the world. If any of it makes sense, which usually no, but you know, so I go sometimes. This always gives me such Michael Jackson vibes.
Because that's where he comes
That's the
from.
whole point.
That's the
Oh,
whole
really?
point of it. It was a nod to Michael
He
Jackson.
does it very well.
He's the only he.
Yeah.
The he.
He is the he.
Okay, that just kind of make my brain just hurt a little bit. Just trying to process the sentence. So, the Bastia Community Food Court to be launched shortly to accommodate the food truck vendors.
Yay!
Now, before I even get started, actually, let me just read the article and hush. For once. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis is currently expediting its preparations for an area along North Independence Square Street that will temporarily house a number of food truck vendors that once operated on the streets of Bastia. Prime Minister Dr. The Honorable Timothy Harris led a small delegation on a tour of the designated area on Tuesday, July 20th. Accompanying the Prime Minister were the Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Mr. Andrew Scarrett, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Ron Collins, and Chair of the Interministerial Committee on the Vending Street, Mr. Austin Farrier. The team was updated on the progress of the work being done to be carried out there to update the situation at hand. So far, the overgrown lot at North Independence Square Street has been cleared of bushes and debris. It's true, I've seen it. Additionally, the grooming of the trees, sanitization of the area, fixing the surrounding walls, installation of a bathroom facility, and the erection of proper lighting and leveling of the ground will take place over the next few days. Once completed, it's expected that the area will house a minimum of six large food trucks around the perimeter of the lot with seating accommodations in the center. This move by the government follows a decision to halt all street vending activity in the city center. Over the years, street vending has become a major area of concern as pedestrians were forced to walk in the busy roads as the number of vendors utilizing the sidewalks grew exponentially. It is anticipated that all preparatory work at the North Independence Square Street location will be completed within a matter of days, paving the way for food truck vendors to commence operations there by the end of this month.
You know what I love?
Y'all could have did this long time.
Meow. Okay, well, yeah, that too. But you know what I love?
That they could have do it long time.
That as well.
And how quick it took them to do it.
It wasn't
Okay.
quick. I feel like this was something that I heard about a while now. But when people write these articles, right? I love how they play up the actions. Because all they did is cut the grass. I mean, clean up the lot and level some trees so far. Literally, because I saw the picture. Looking at the picture
I
correctly.
saw the lot. I saw the lot.
News articles make
You
it
know
sound
what?
so fancy.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let you guys talk first because I need to gauge which direction I would like to choose.
No, don't do that. We don't engage here.
No, I'm choosing.
We just
to
speak
gauge
off the top
because
of our head.
We are responsible and reputable news source.
Win FM.
Yeah.
Okay.
I staying out to this one. Yeah, watching it. This thing is very interesting. Me going on between the two right now.
No,
No, go ahead. Do you think, Ben?
Who?
Done.
Me and say I got thing to do. Like I was saying yesterday, like I'm like this is what is needed. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I'm happy it's
needed.
happening.
Yeah, so I ain't even. I mean, yes, we'd like to see a difference in the way we do things sometimes, and all of that.
Yeah.
I also believe that they did say 6 minimum.
Minimum.
I do believe that it might end up being close to 8 if we're lucky. That end up. Yeah, that'll tell you about in there. So, well, and the thing is, and the thing is, I do believe that there's a few places, even another lot around the square where there's actually some vending that happens. There's another one around the square. I don't know who owns the land and stuff like that, but
That's a
A
government.
lot.
So-
another lot.
yeah, there's another empty lot.
North Independence Street.
No, it's on West. Before you get to the actual square, like just below. Like
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Cause somebody's there though.
Yeah,
a
there's
truck
something,
is there already.
something happens in there already.
I thought so.
Yeah, so I mean, and you see, this was my issue when everybody was talking about putting them in the square. I'm not a big fan of that, but I do like the idea of, you know, there's areas around the square,
I like
and
that
then
too.
you can then you could then, you know, take a seat and whatever in the square. I like that. I like that idea.
You know,
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just I want to like just applaud the persons that were involved in pushing for a solution to occur, because I could be wrong, but based on my outlook of this situation, things were just, you know, they were just presented with the fact that they have to move, and I don't know who spoke to who or what conversations were had about what, you know,
Well,
find us an alternative. But
The truth is the discussions have been going on for quite some time, and including people who are the main stakeholders, which are the vendors, right? So the thing, this thing for me is it a matter that this place was not identified prior to putting out the communication? And if that's the case, then that's sad. And then if it was identified before, then perhaps it should have been ready for when they wanted people off the street. So either way, the way we do things needs some improvement. But at the end of the day, like I said, what I really just want to see is a situation where the vendors can safely ply their trade. And I think it's going to be better not just for the operators and the business owners, but also for the general public. The general public being able to go to a place, have several options. You know, it's a place that is safe, it is sanitary, because that's one of the things that I always find interesting about some of these food shops and things like, and these food places on the side of the road, like there's no restroom,
Nope.
there's no real place to wash your hand a lot of times. And while we are at it, guys, one of the big things that I like about this is that in this controlled area, it can also control waste. Now, that being said, can some smart person, somebody who's smarter than me, come up with a proper way to dispose of garbage in town?
oh my god, no. Oh, what? Okay.
Can we have some trash cans somewhere?
Here we go. So I don't think the problem is the trash cans.
Where are the trash cans presently? In somebody's store?
There's two.
Okay.
There's two that I know of.
You're right.
Oh, three. One down Port Zante, one in the square, one by Flo, I think it is.
There's one by Flo?
May know. I could be wrong.
There's one at Baker's Corner.
But here's my thing. I don't think the problem is the trash cans. I think the problem is the maintenance and upkeep and emptying of these trash cans. You cannot have, because remember it can't be like you know, they put up those recycled trash cans a while ago,
but they're always full.
They have been stuffed to capacity since the day they have been installed. I don't know if they've ever been emptied. Why? I don't care, because my thing is, what you cannot expect people to responsibly dispose of garbage in town with nowhere to dispose of garbage.
Right.
If there are empty trash cans, if the trash cans are frequently emptied, which is daily,
yep,
multiple times per day,
yeah, that it would have to be.
People would not feel the need to chuck. Let me rephrase that. People would the likelihood of people chucking trash on the street will decrease, because people would know, oh, there's a trash can in the square. I walk over there. Let me just drop it in the thing. But people know it's never empty. So there's no space.
I actually think we still need a few more, but again, that problem still will persist.
we need more. We need responsible ways to dispose of trash. At
least for the food truck sites, they will have on-site bins and stuff, and bathrooms and bathrooms.
That's what I was saying. Like, I'm glad for that, because it's better for everyone involved, both the business owners and the people attending. But guys, we have a caller. Caller, good morning. You're live on LNT. What's up?
Hey, good morning. Thanks for the program.
Morning.
I must say to you that, speaking from experience with the trash bin on the street, there's one in the circus and there's one right across there by the Baker's Corner. And there was a few of them that was mounted around Bastille. Having said that, what I noticed is that they had on the front of those panels was a place for advertisement. The impression that I receive is that the person who placed them was thinking of having people who advertise their business place their ads on those, and that would have been able to fulfill the collection of those bins. One day I noticed that one of the bins was full and overflowing, and it was really disgusting, and I said, oh my gosh, this can't be true and this can't be correct. So I said, let me call solid waste. Someone at solid waste said to me that it was not their responsibility and it's not their bin. So they gave me a number to call. I call another number and they say, no, it's not me, it's somebody else.
So no, okay.
I call the next number and the person say, yes, it's my bin, but I have already closed off those bins. But what I will do, I will send someone to clear the bin and shut it off again. So even though the bins were closed off, people were still prying into them and pouring garbage into them. So those bins right now are obsolete. And so it appears to me that at this present moment, there is no bin and Bastille. Apparently what used to happen though is that those who own their business, small business in town, used to use them as their garbage disposal.
Oh yeah,
that's the thing. Fill them up with garbage, and so those who pass with a little trash in their hand will not be able to drop it in and continue their journey. So the thing is, one of the easiest things to do, I normally keep what you call a plastic bag from supermarket in my car and keep it in here until I find a bin to throw it in. I will take it back home.
Yep.
Because I have a big bin home, which is too big for me anyway. So the thing is that everyone and each one have to be practical and learn to control their garbage. Because if you want to dispose of it, don't pour it on somebody else's step, because that's not kind. One should always be in control of his or her garbage. Thank you very much for the program. I think I have said enough.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much for that caller.
Yeah, another problem is the fact that apparently people bring their garbage from home and dump it into the square. Which
for sure.
Why would you do that? There's a garbage truck that comes to your house.
Yeah, but anyway.
So people do all kind of things, People do all kind of things.
I've stopped looking for answers for certain questions because I just can't. But not everybody is as responsible as the caller because that's what I do as well. But I've also learned that, like, I sometimes I'm somewhere with somebody, and they would literally fling something on the street,
They're gonna have to take it up.
and I'd just be like, why? I was like, so what you did that for? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, can you pick up the trash you just thrown on the ground? You want me to take away the work from the people that?
Oh yeah, that's one thing.
Everybody's
they pay people for that. They pay people. No, they're not.
Is
They're
that
not
you
paying
must
people for
give
that.
people a reason to work. No,
But they're not paying people to
they're
walk
not
behind your
paying.
pickup.
People are not being
that?
paid to clean up after you. People are being paid to maintain the sanity of the road, maintain the cleanliness of the road, not to sweep up your box drink that you dash down on the street.
Bro, I don't even like people throwing, like, if I'm in a vehicle and somebody attempts to throw something out the window, not happening.
I will wind the window up on your hand.
Not happening in front of me. Don't drop trash in
You know
front
what
of
I
me.
would
Don't
like to?
leave trash at the beach. Don't throw things out your windows. Like, just clean.
I
the
would like
place.
if we could come to a place like Asia when it comes to trash, like Singapore and Taiwan and China.
I'm not talking about Singapore, man.
If you
Singapore, you get
tell
fined
you.
for chewing gum, man.
if you chew gum in certain places, you will be fined. If you're earring back drop out of your ear, you're getting fined, eh?
Yeah.
They do not
As you
play
should.
when it comes to trash, and
Mhm.
that itself makes you it enforces cleanliness, because my thing is you are going to be fined. It's not a maybe thing. You will be fined, because there's not only just cameras, but there are people all over waiting to fine you. And if you
Yeah.
drop
You see?
stuff there and you're fined, so here's my thing: is dropping a box drink straw paper on the ground worth the $500 fine? Was your thirst and lack of patience worth $500?
Definitely. Any of thirst and lack of patience. It's just, people just are either nasty or they just don't care about the environment in a way
I
that they
think
should.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
There's not that respect
Mm-mm.
for the place.
Mm-mm.
I mean, even the way we do things sometimes, I just kind of get them into, like, I mean, I really appreciate the guys that go out every morning and like clean up this thing, but I think it needs to be more than just cut the grass.
Mm-hmm.
I think we really need to get more into landscaping and beautification.
Mm-hmm. That'd be good.
Like I mean, and to be honest, like I think there's, and we've seen some people branch out there. We've seen some people who would have been a part of the Parks and Beaches program, who then branched out and started doing landscaping. I think that's a good thing.
I agree.
But I do believe that we have to go from just like sending out gangs of people in the morning, and they just kind of cut the grass and
Chillax and go home.
yeah, like and kind of really identify places where these people are custodians of, right? And so there's really a real effort to beautify and to landscape the places. I think that'll go a long way.
I know it's not Thursday, right?
Nope, we're saving it.
Wait, no. I really have to get this out. For people that own land, right? Can you kindly maintain your land?
No, because why would they do that?
It
Jade.
is ridiculous for you to have to walk in the road when there was a sidewalk, but now your land has overrun the sidewalk with all kind of wild bush. Like, just cut your land.
No.
Yeah. A lot of these people ain't even here, and they don't even like send. They don't
And
even.
there's nobody.
no custodian.
Yeah, there's
or
no
nothing.
custodian in it.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm just
government
waiting
need
for
to do
people to
something
start
about
finding.
that.
There is. I think we have become, as a country, we've become comfortable with justifying mediocre behavior.
That's a lie. We have a love affair with mediocrity. I think it's joke I'll be making. Anyway, we have a call on the line. Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Okay. Because my thing is, why?
Hold on, Kevon. Let's see. if
Oh, we
get
have
this
another
call.
one.
Yeah. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T.
Greetings, Island Tea.
Greetings.
Everyone good?
Yes,
Yeah,
we're
man.
good.
Thanksgiving. Watch here, see the nastiness? The nastiness look like it right across the board. Our people, hey, watch out, man. Watch out. This thing here terrible, man. This thing here terrible. We cannot continue living so. We cannot continue to live so. Because all of us are nasty, you know. It's just that the nasty ones, they mounts we. We tolerating the nastiness. And we ought not to be doing that.
It's not about cleaning, got somebody to clean. Even the people who cut grass, let me just say this who cut grass. They cut the grass, they make the grass go in the drain, they make the grass scatter here, they make the grass scatter there. There's no order. Sometimes, the conclusion me come to. Let me just see a sound make the, if you're not nasty, how people can get work. The conclusion me come to, is that there is a conspirator blind. We don't call it conspiracy, because they can't see. There's a conspirator blind, stop that. Sure.
But you gotta be a conspirator blind, because as soon as you start to talk about it, you call them. The conspirator blind.
I mean, call it Mega like that was funny. That was a little.
I hope we didn't hang up because we was laughing. Well, y'all was laughing.
No, it's a conspirator blind. As soon as the man going to bust the bubble, they had to disconnect the call.
Conspirator blind.
But but he made a good point. Like it's more than just cutting the grass. Like you can't just leave the grass laying all over the place. Like come on, guys.
Yeah,
and it was with everything.
It's not enough to say we got people going out cutting grass. It must be the goal of the program should be landscaping, beautification. I mean, there's a lot of the sides of these roads where I'm hoping we could see where maybe a program through the agriculture department or whatever, where we can grow trees and transplant them in some of these areas. One of the problems I think happened is I know the agriculture department has done some programs where they have planted trees. I think we have to kind of nurture them to a certain point and then transplant them. What I've seen happen in the plants is that you take very young trees, and then one of the other problems too is that nobody is actually responsible for the upkeep and the maintenance of those trees.
Them, just there.
So you plant them and then that's it, and then
we hope they're growing and that's it.
And normally they don't.
Because what we need to also understand is a lot of trees they don't thrive well on their own.
They need help.
Which are the prettier ones. They need constant care, and they need to be pruned, and they need to be watered. And
we have so much land. Like we're the fertile land, so like we can't just use it.
We have the mountainside.
Just use it anyway.
Man, guys, we have a caller. Good morning, you're live on LNT.
Oh, we lost the caller.
Let's see if we get this other one. Good morning, caller, you're live on LNT. What's up? Nope.
Yeah, man. Oh, and a whole other one coming in. Yeah, touch a spot. Bye.
Good morning, caller. You live on LNT. Talk to us.
Sorry to disturb you again, but you just touched a nerve there, and it's a very sensitive nerve. You see, most of us think it's we doing what you call rubberteering. We tell people to do things because we're in charge, and we don't tell them why. Oh. And the gentleman make a valid point. We should be doing landscaping versus beautification. That's a very valid point. They give those guys a weed eater and tell them cut grass. People get out of the way and plant beautiful flowers by the side of the road. And those guys get out there with the weed eater and cut them down.
Yes, that's true. I've seen that too.
They're not windful. They're not windful. You know what? They just don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know that the weed eater will back the tree, and any tree that is back from the skin will die.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore, if you notice, I don't know if you remember, across there by where we have the Ministry of, by the airport, West Stanford building.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful plant. From the moment you let those guys inside here, all the plants die.
Yeah, they dead out.
When you go close up to the plants and check them, they're properly back. So the plant dies, what you call a death of suffering from not being able to breathe, because if you take off the skin, that's the end of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody will tell them, and you have people from agriculture department, they have a nice job sitting in air condition. Agriculture department is not what it used to be. Everybody have a nice cushy job and air condition, and from they go in there and they clear the desk, they go on and they WhatsApp, they start to relax, and they don't care. Because the job, they have a job but they don't work. And they get paid every month, so the money is sure. No performance. All of these things that when it comes to plants, cutting trees and everything, agriculture should be fully active in these things. And the lady made a point and said government shouldn't let people do this and do certain things. Government should not be in those things. Like the politicians should not be involved. Not even moving the street vendors off the street. That's not the job of the politician. People have position in government to do those things, but they are not active. They're just not active. They're just there. People in health department, if something go wrong, you say the government should do this. How the government could do that? Government is paying people to do these jobs. Why take the job if you're not going to do it? Those are the things that really run to me. You take a job, but you don't want the responsibility. You want to look nice. I want to be nice. You can't be nice. Some things must take the rough edge, and you have to do it because they're getting paid. Sorry to, I'm not going to call you back again. I think
yeah, man, go drink some tea, man. But I think one of the things that the caller was alluding to is, and it comes up a lot of times in some of these discussions we have, is things will happen based on the agenda, based on the motivation. So the motivation will drive behavior. So if you have a program, for instance, that is really geared towards giving people a job so they can receive income, then what happens is once something is done and money is paid, the program is a success.
Basically.
If it comes from a place where, let's say, we want to see the nation, we want the nation to look a certain way. How can we achieve that? Then what would happen is the programs that will follow will be geared towards that goal. A lot of times, a lot of things that we do, a lot of the programs, a lot of things that we institute is not really to achieve what people think it really to achieve, And that is, and I keep saying, sometimes we need to recognize that we have different perspectives. So, like, again, sometimes these things are just like, we need to get the fellas them off the street.
Let me get them out.
So once they're off the street, the program is a success.
Yeah, that's
we're looking at it and saying, but why they don't do this and why they don't do that? That is not the point of the program.
It's to get them off the streets.
Yeah.
And they're off the streets, so
you see what I'm saying?
program done.
So we really need to look at that dynamic,
Yeah.
and I think we'll see, because what happens is that then promotes wastage and inefficiency.
Mm-hmm.
Right? A lot of things that we're doing now, if we just refocus and then and clearly outline the deliverables and what's expected from these programs, it'll be better for the country. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
It'll be better for the country.
I love that you're talking facts. Oh my God.
Too much sense make a dollar. Stop it.
But yeah, you're correct, because I'm pretty sure, and the thing too is like, this can further people's skills. Like, is one thing to just say, okay, well, as you made mention to, like, we're getting them off the street and that's it. Like, we can further them. We can give them these skills that can then have them not have to depend on these programs. Because if you teach a man to do proper landscaping and stuff, that's a business.
Yeah.
That is a whole business that he can create for himself.
And don't get me wrong, I respect a lot the people who get up every morning and go do a lot of these jobs, right? But like the caller was suggesting, what is needed is some direction. What are the deliverables? What is the goal? What is it we are trying to achieve? You are a part of a bigger picture, and so the key is for you to operate in your role the best possible. If everybody is operating in their role the best possible, everybody has a clear understanding of what the overall goal is and the overall picture, then I think you would see buy-in from a lot of these people. Like, and people can complain, oh, there's got like 8 of them just there on the side of the road sitting down. By 10 o'clock they don't work and they go home. I don't believe these are bad people for the most part. You understand? I do believe what is needed is some direction.
Cause like, if you for instance, if you give me a job, right, and I complete my job, and that's the only job you give me. What's I supposed to do?
No, you see,
If you tell me clear this area, and I clear this area, me and 7 other people clear this area, and then the area is cleared. That's all y'all told me to do. Like, what's I supposed to do?
The thing is, and we spoke about mediocrity. We spoke about mediocrity and whatever. One of the things that actually happens, and it happens in the civil service, and we hear civil servants complaining about this all the time, is even in a situation where someone takes the initiative, that initiative is punished.
Mm-hmm.
You get punished for taking the initiative.
Imagine that.
You see something that should be done, needs to be done, would add value to what you are doing, and then you do it. Or you go to your supervisor and say, hey man, why we don't bam, 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 I'm up to you, boy.
They were paying over.
They were paying over. So your co-workers and your kids, because now they feel you're giving them more work.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They think, it's like, no.
And then everybody take offense to, you ain't asked nobody not to do. Okay, but nobody wanted to be a part of it. So
mediocrity is celebrated, initiative and excellence are punished.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality.
Yikes.
A big fact.
Anyway, I think we need to take a little breather, quick break, and come right back with more conversation.
Right here on Win Media SKN. We will be right back.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Portsmouth's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less and save more. How, you ask? Essential Everyday and Equiline. Spend less on our Essential Everyday products and get the best quality, the best taste, and the best value. Spend less for all your family health and beauty needs with the Equiline brand of over-the-counter products. Portsmouth's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less with our Essential Everyday products and Equiline over-the-counter health and beauty care products. Shop smart and spend less at Value Mart, where price matters most.
Azem was angry.
Clearly, jeez.
Welcome back to Island Tea with your face. Kevon and Azem featuring Kevon and Angry Azem featuring Jade.
What? I'm not angry.
I'm just giving you Jade because Azem take win today.
What are you talking about?
I can really mash up the little mix up.
I'm having fun.
That's what we calling it?
Alright. Who would you?
No problem. Anyway. So welcome back. It is Wednesday, July 21st, and the time is now 9:01 a.m. So, before we proceed any further, I will give you your St. Kitts and Nevis COVID-19 situation report as of Tuesday, 20th July 2021. Confirmed cases within the last 3 hours stands at 3. Active cases is now 40. Total number of cases that the Federation has since the beginning of this pandemic is at 557. Active cases are at 4. I said 40. I said this already.
Yeah.
Active cases at 40. Just a reminder, you know. Cases between St. Kitts and Nevis. For St. Kitts, we have 539. Cases for Nevis, we have 18. Recovered cases, we have 514. And deaths us at 3.
I have a conspiracy.
Oh boy.
Wait. Remember yesterday I said it come like the cases is only 4 and 0?
No, they hit us with a tree.
They hit us with a tree.
To try to throw us off. To try to throw us off. When I see it last night, I say, wait for Jade in the morning. Wait for Jade in the morning.
I saw it and I went,
This is one of those situations where Kevon tuned out.
That's okay. I'm accustomed.
I have something I want to say though.
Say it.
And this is a continuation of like something that we've been talking about. We talk about digitizing the vaccination cards and stuff like that.
Which ain't happy yet.
No, I want to take it to another level. Because at some point our status is going to be entered into a database. And I do believe that you can have a database that speaks to several things, or you could do a paper pass, or a card, which would be like having your vaccination card. Hopefully something that is, durable and pocket size. Or you could have that same information on an app, and I think there's been talk about this, right? And it's being discussed, right? And so that could then be used, places where you might want to know your status or whatever, blah blah blah. I also believe that and this is a suggestion because again I think this is something that is maybe being discussed. I also want to suggest that one can upload test to it as well. So if I do a PCR test, I can then upload that information.
Wait, you mean what the UK already doing?
I think there's different places doing it. You could upload that information directly into the app as well. So then it would say this person had a negative PCR test on such and such a date.
Yep.
Right.
Self-report.
Right. The other thing that I think is important, I've been trying to just look on. I've been trying to look on and see if I'm going to start hearing this narrative play out, and I'm not hearing it play out. So I'm going to and bring it up, and hopefully it becomes a thing now. But I know they listen, Island TV. You know you're listening.
Regular.
I'm not calling you a minister, but I know you're listening.
Ministers.
Right. Can we start, now that we've had community spread, now that thankfully we've had hundreds of people recovering from the disease, can we start talking about where those persons fit into the equation? Persons who have had the disease have recovered. I do believe that is also a segment of society that needs to be acknowledged. You have gone through the disease, you have obviously ended up developing the antibodies, right? And so I do believe that does provide some level of protection. So can we have the conversation about where those persons fit into the scenario? So for instance, in reference to the app, I use the app as a jump off. Those are 3 things that I think should be included in an app like that. Your vaccination status, recent test, and if you have recovered, if you had the virus and have recovered, I think that should also be information that you could have on the app, right? And so because we have people who are on different ends of the spectrum, I'm not getting into these personal debates at this point, and what people should and shouldn't do. But what I'm saying is, wherever you stand, you should then have you should be able to interact with some of these things. I don't like the segmentation.
It's annoying, and
so,
that's why everybody's so up in arms. Like, I think that's what.
But I mean, if everybody up in arms, Jade.
About the segment? Okay, well, the people who feel segmented are up in arms. Like, you see all these protest flyers and stuff like that? You think people actually gonna protest?
Come on, Jade.
No? The nation of, you know what? I think so.
Really? I do not. I don't think people are really no.
No, I don't think that's
I think there's a
actually
small
happening.
segment, and this is one of the reasons why I don't gauge things from social media. A lot of times, you have to understand, the same platform is given to you, no matter of your expertise, no matter. But what happens a lot of times is the loud voices of a few manage to drown out the actual feelings of the majority.
Yeah.
That happens. That is Facebook. That is Twitter. That is all of it. The loud voices of a few, they drown out the voices of the majority a lot of the times. Right? So, yeah, all these I'm left to be seen, and I do believe a lot of times when we have persons at these so-called protests and thing, half the time is a lot of people who they little news.
Yeah, man, on the side.
They ain't protesting nothing.
The only people I ever see really protest is the Rastafarians. They're about it. They're about it. They're real about it. Other than that, like, I don't see anybody really putting a group together and, speaking up for their rights in form of protest.
Yeah.
But it's left to see.
Yeah. But yeah, that's and this is going to spill over into some other things that I'm hoping to see happen, and we could probably talk about it tomorrow, because I'm probably bang my mouth about it tonight.
Yes. What's happening tonight?
Oh yeah. So tonight
Is
Pace, in collaboration with WINNFM, is having a panel discussion to discuss the entertainment sector and navigating COVID. I think what we really want to get out of it is some concrete suggestions as to the way forward, how a return to social gatherings, how that could look in a way that is both economically sound and safe. So also just getting a gauge from several people in the community as to what their experience has been, what the impact of COVID has been in different sectors. A lot of time I think we don't necessarily see a lot of the ways that this ban on mass gatherings has affected people. It's not just our promoters or band members. A lot of time there's service providers, there's support services, graphic designers, photographers, all of these things. So yeah, we're having a discussion tonight right here on WINNFM.
Nice little panel.
Nice panel.
yes.
And it starts at 7 o'clock. So be a part of it.
Yes.
Please
Join
join in. All that good stuff.
Meeting of the minds.
Meeting of the
Ow.
But moving on.
Mike heavy boy. Bust me knuckle on the mic. Oh boy. So let's talk about this one. Jade's pick.
Yay.
Jade, no, not with attitude.
I said, okay, what I want to
Come
say,
again.
I did pick it.
So, the St. Kitts Nevis Olympic Committee decision upheld by the CAS ad hoc division on Jennifer Harding, the Marling matter. So, swimmer Jennifer Harding Marling filed an application with the CAS ad hoc division against the St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee. Ms. Harding, who holds dual citizenship in Canada and St. Kitts, was not selected by the St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee to compete for the country in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, following a decision on July 12th. In her application, the swimmer alleged that the St. Kitts Nevis Olympic Committee discriminated against her on the basis of race and on the type of sport that had been arbitrary, unequal, unfair, and unreasonable in the selection of its Olympic team. The 29-year-old requested that the SKNOC nominate her for the women's 100-meter backstroke at the Tokyo 2020 for a place in the universal quota. The quota system allows smaller nations with no Olympic swimming qualifier to enter up to one male and up to one female. So that means you don't have to have your qualifying things. You could just be submitted. At least one person could be admitted. So
a lot of people don't know this, and I'll speak about that when you finish the article.
Yeah, the Court of Arbitration for Sports (CAS) ad hoc division upheld the decision for not entering Hardin Marlin for the competition in the 2020 Olympic Games in Japan. On Sunday, the court stated that based on the foregoing evidence and legal analysis, the panel concludes that none of the applicants' claims have merit. Hardin's
zero. I think none means none of them.
None of the applicants' claims have merit. Hardin Marlin's application was dismissed along with other claims for relief. President of the Olympic Committee, Alfonso Bridgewater, stated that the allegations did not describe the nature or character of St. Kitts and Nevis's Olympic Committee. In the statement, I'm way too far from this computer. In the decision, Mr. Bridgewater explained that the St. Kitts and Nevis Swimming Federation is not a member of the St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee, and thus no swimming entries were considered. Previously, Hardin Marlin competed at the 2019 World Championships in Gwangju in South Korea, where she finished 41st in the 100-meter backstroke and 85th in the 100-meter freestyle.
I think, right? I think the last part was shade. Like I feel like,
of course.
I feel like whoever wrote this article, that last part with her finishing stats was shade. What was
85th out of 93, I think.
I don't know what the position, the total.
I think it's 90 something, 90 something. Yeah.
She placed 41st in one and 85th in the other. I don't know how many participants were in each.
Okay, so I got, yeah. I feel that is the point that a lot of people making, like, miss, you're slow.
Sorry.
Like, I think that's the point a lot of people making. However, that is not my point, though. Like, personally, like, I think it was ridiculous for her to claim, like, discrimination and thing.
Oh, please, we have to tell the people the race of this person.
Oh, she is a dual citizen of Canada and St. Kitts and Nevis. She's a white woman. She's 29 years old. Again, she's a dual citizen for both countries.
Yeah.
That claimed racial discrimination.
I mean, you could claim racial discrimination if you're white. Like, you can. Like.
Yeah, no, man saying that she can't. I'm just saying, like, really.
Because remember, she's now the minority here.
St. Kitts.
Right. So, but anyway, this is my thing. I do believe that as much as I think her claims were just like ridiculous as was reinforced by the court, I do believe it was important though. We staying here all the time and talk about support and all of these things. A lot of people, when I'm speaking to them, when I'm speaking to them about this particular topic, and I'm telling them we should send her. Like they go, why? One, they say she's slow. Two, they say, but she didn't qualify. I say, okay, first thing first, countries can enter participants in the Olympics even if they don't have a qualifying time. I do believe that is important if the country is serious about developing talent. I think, again, I always say we need examples. Yeah, she might not be fast, she might not be whatever, and I'm not talking about her personally. I'm just saying, like, we identify people who, for instance, so you're going to wait until we have somebody who's extremely talented, right, to send them, when we could have had somebody there, or persons there who would have had experience, people who could come back, impart wisdom about the experience. Not only that, could serve as you don't know who is going to inspire. I think we need especially events like the Olympics. We need to start exposing our people to those experiences.
100%.
Whether or not we think they're going to win a goal or get to the finals, like, I don't think that matters. I think what matters is it must be part of a bigger picture. We want to develop swimming. We want to develop swimmers. So why aren't we sending swimmers? We want to develop hurdlers. Yeah, we might not have a world-class championship hurdler, but having somebody go get the experience and then become part of a program that then could develop the talent that would be, world-class. I think that's important. You can't just say how much and say, but they ain't gonna win, so we ain't sending nobody. Yeah. When you have people, when you have people who dedicate their life to these things and whatever, yes. Now, would I like to see that coming from our ranks here on Ireland? Yes. The reason for that being, I think we can then more depend and reintegrate them after these experiences and the investment into national programs, into programs that then help to develop national talent, right? The younger talent. So yes, I would prefer that. But the idea that people are giving like Bashi slow, and I mean we shouldn't say no, like I don't really get behind that.
My only thing was like the fact that she tried to claim racial the word gone again. That she was trying to say that like we discriminating against her because of race. But I'm pretty sure it's not that. Like I'm pretty
yeah, sorry, Miss Marlin, we don't send our own people either.
I'm like
I was talking
that was for me. I'm like, ma'am, do you realize we haven't sent anyone at all? So it's not like we sent a bunch of black athletes from here and then just was like, nah, you can't go because you're white. Yeah. We haven't sent anyone.
There's a team. There's a team photo.
No, I mean for swimming.
Oh, yeah. Well, 2.
Yeah, I mean for swimming. We haven't sent. Have we ever sent anyone for swimming? They just said they're not even a part of that.
Exactly.
There's a photo of the.
But it must be part of a bigger picture. Are we trying to develop swimmers? Because again, that is one of we're surrounded by water people.
Maybe they never thought about it. I mean, no, I feel like
because
you think so?
Definitely have.
Okay, never mind.
Other countries in the Caribbean have swimming facilities.
We don't. Besides the beach.
But again, it must be part of a vision. We're not going to have swimming facilities if someone doesn't have the vision to say, well, in 20 years we want to be producing world-class swimmers. Like that's the kind of vision what it's going to take. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is, we've dropped back in a lot of these areas. For instance,
we used to have like 15 in the 90s. We had like 15 athletes going, and we got 2.
Bro, me even talking about that. And I think this year is a little different because of
we have to
pandemic and
COVID. But
what I'm saying is, if we generally are very narrow in terms of the scope of athletes and the sports that we develop and we play. So, for instance, we would have had world-class bikers, world-class cyclists. We've had world-class cyclists from right here. We've had world-class boxers.
Mixed martial arts fighters.
Martial arts fighters. So I think we've actually dropped back in a lot of these areas. And I believe that if we have developed that talent, we could develop it again. However, it must be a long-term vision. We ain't going to just start. It's the same thing with football. We talk about football and things. I think we need realistic goals, and then we need to operate in a way to get us there. I'm looking right now at the Gold Cup being played. To me, based on our size and where we're at in terms of, not having a professional league and here and all of that, I think the Gold Cup should be a goal that the FC is looking hard at and determining what are the steps over the next 10, 15, 20 years to bring a Gold Cup championship to St. Kitts.
Mm-hmm. Well, somebody is saying if you're in track and football now, other sports get love in St. Kitts.
Pretty much.
Basically. You want to let somebody jump in this conversation? Because the phone line is going crazy.
Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning to all the listeners at home and abroad. Now, we better start thinking again. We have sold thousands of passports. And some of them have had children who are born Kittitians. And I think we should begin to look at our new citizens to increase our pool. I said so already, While we do appreciate our own people, to increase the scope, the variety, the name Kittitians, we're going to have to start to think about giving them a chance. Even not nationals, because I think we should put them to nationals, if there are enough of them. Because the lady, that's a challenge, It is actually based on that, because she actually competed, I think, in 2016 for South Korea. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So while she did not qualify in our mind, She actually went to the Olympics before. So we have got to begin to pay attention to all of the athletes, wherever they are, find out who belong to us. If for no other reason for us to increase our numbers, because one person and two person going to the Olympics is uneconomical. Now, can I say something about the topic you had before? About the database, can I?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
You know, well, maybe as a statistician, you know the amount of data they have. When you fill out that form, you have to say what comorbidity you have and everything. They have enough data for policy, you know. You don't have to run around and say, look, they have so many persons who took the vaccine, who these are the comorbidities or whatever. They're on the paper. So when you're making policy about hypertension and whatever, you stop just making wild guesses. So I hope they think about it. And Bahamas have cards there. You know that?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they have the same paper like us. But they now begin to give
to transition into
the
the
wallet
cards.
size thing. So this is weird. So all of you in the ITC, because sometimes our people laid back, we're waiting for somebody to tell us what to do. You young people come up with ideas. You could go and see the Bahamas zone, do a prototype, and present it.
I know for a fact that has been done.
Yeah, that's been done.
I know that has been done.
Yeah,
Yes.
This thing about sitting back waiting for somebody to ask you. And let me get to the thing tonight. Please, you all don't waste time with the belly aching. When pays come on tonight, warn your people. While it is good to think, you can't spend most of the time belly aching. We want policies. They have been, I listened to a thing on the TV with Jamaica. They did one in Jamaica. A forum with the artists. I think they did one in Barbados. You hear them on Carib Channel 20. Channel 20. I've heard a number of them. You must say where you want to go. How are you going to deal with the unvaccinated and the vaccinated? You understand?
Yeah, but
please, if you are the moderator tonight, can you do a good job at moderating?
Yeah, he will be. But Miss Henry, we have some other calls, some other people trying to jump in.
I'm just telling them now, because I don't want to waste time listening to belly aching.
Okay. Well, thank you.
All right, let's take another call. Caller, good morning.
Caller, good morning. 11 LNT.
I think we lost the caller. Yeah. We have another one? No, we lost the caller. Caller, feel free to call back.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling Jade a while ago, like, I think these people are people that we need to, not only that, you know what I like to, and it has to do with this. All these things are only going to happen if you have a long-term plan and long-term vision. Yes, you might have an athlete who there is no real hope for them medaling or getting to the finals or whatever, but they might actually have good potential as a coach, right? So recognizing this is somebody who you could then develop into a leader in a national program in 5, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. Yeah, let them have the experience.
I agree.
Let them have the experience. It gives a certain level of credibility to the person. You understand? Yeah, you might not have one, but we should be able to be seeing Kittian Olympians around. And even this lady, like, we're talking about whatever. I see these as resources. These are resources that we need to tap into. So yeah, we might not send you and we discriminate against or whatever you say, but whatever you really want to contribute to think it's in a real way. Yeah. So okay, we want to develop a swim program. Come on as a consultant.
Lend your expertise.
Yeah.
That's
since you want to think it's care about you, will you care about us? Let's see.
That is a fact. That's true.
You understand? These are resources that we need to tap into. So
shows that you love us too.
Yeah, and even if you don't, we realize that there's things that we can extract from your experience. It can't be the short-sighted thing. Can't be the way we continue doing things. Like we're not gonna get anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I just need to see more vision happen. Like, there's just lack of vision.
I just in my head hearing all the people saying, man, that's how we treat our world champion. Anyway.
Facts.
Anyway.
You say it with your whole chest. You want me to say it? That's how we treat our world champions. So it's not shocking that we treat. Anyway.
But anyway, so yeah, I think that we need to look into providing more opportunities for people who have athletic ability. Same thing that we need to be doing in with people who have ability, whether it's in tech, whether it is engineering, whether it is medicine, whether it is finance, right? All these things. But
somebody said sports tourism is non-existent here.
Yeah, I don't have a CPL pretty much. But
yes. And that's so funny. Anyway, tomorrow we're gonna talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah. But yeah, so we want to see some programs where, and I do believe that if again being transparent and open about these things, I think is one of the way to foster buy-in. And again, this is where we're going to see the real results, because if the goals of the program have to do with that. So it's not about building playgrounds in communities so that we could get votes. It's about, is this part of a wider program to develop capacity in whatever sporting activity it is? If it's just about put on a play field or change the lights, so it's something I could say on a platform, then that's as far as it's gonna go.
Yeah,
so
to help.
Again, we need real programs, we need real vision, and then we need to empower our people to be able to add value to these programs.
Somebody said, come on as a consultant, Jessa. Well, who else would you consult with? If she is somebody that's been to the Olympics.
Well, I don't know who she is. What I'm saying is, it's up to us to determine what value we can extract from her. Do we allow her to participate in games and it gives us exposure and puts us in the playing field? Do we use her experience to now know how to move about nurturing new swimmers? Like, there's so many ways she could be useful. I mean, she don't have to be a coach. I'm not saying she's a coach, because not all participants are coaches, but my thing is she could simply be like a consultant, Right.
What process did you go through to get to being, able to qualify in things?
Right.
I did this, and okay, so now we have a plan, and you can help us make sure that we achieve that plan.
I'll tell you something, right? Let's look at it, right? I'll give you a prime example of what we're talking about. So we have this situation where people are racing illegally, right, in Nevis. The government determines by this is dangerous. Some of the things that were touted, or things like by, we could use this. We know what, we're gonna put down a racetrack. This could bring in visitors from St. Kitts and probably from even other countries and stuff like that, right? Your vision will determine the path that you're set on and your eventual goal. What if the goal of putting down this thing was to develop world-class drivers? If that was the actual goal, right? Not instead, but in addition to giving people a safe place to race, right? We would be doing things, programs would be in place, we would do whatever we have to do because that is the goal. You understand where I'm coming from? So sometimes we have to go past these like short-term, shallow goals, and we really, because I want to see, like, okay, we have somebody on the live talking about motorsports, and the fact that Barbados has a world-class Formula race car.
Who come in first?
Right?
True.
And to be totally honest, Richard Hamilton is the reason I got into F1, right? Richard Hamilton, full stop. Right?
Yeah, I think this person misunderstanding us big time.
Okay. So yeah.
You're right.
So what I'm saying is, I don't believe that the British, I don't believe the French, I don't believe the Italians, I don't believe they have quicker, sharper reflexes than us. I don't believe any of this, right? I have been to NASCAR races. I have been to different levels of racing motorsports. We got all these fellas up and down on bike all over the place. What if we recognize that, hey, perhaps what we need to do is to develop a place where we could have some of these people, if we see talent and we develop it, maybe not even now, but in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, where we have BMX championships, championship races and stuff, right? Look at what, because the truth is, it's like children, children and get into what it is they're interested in, and it's up to the parents to identify it and nurture it.
Yep.
We got all these people here telling us, like, this is what we like to do. We want to go, we go race all over the place. We drive a bike and terrorize the neighborhoods. Regularly. Somebody said, like, let's take that energy and do something with it.
Yeah. And for people who may be misunderstanding us for some reason, we're not talking about this person in particular, we're talking about general, across the board.
Across the board.
I did say, as a matter of fact, I did say that I would like to see some of these homegrown people because they're more likely to be able to be integrated into national programs.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they missed that part.
But anyway.
It's break time because our guest is here. Kevon, take us out there.
Yes. I was reading the comments. So we will take a very, very short break and we will come back with more Island Tea on WINNmedia SKN. We will be right back.
Energize your goals with Lucozade. Get it cool. Look under the cap. Find the code. Win it. Thousands in prizes. iPhones and TVs. Or win 30 grand US dollars for your goals. That's goals.
For a chance to win 30,000 US dollars. Purchase any Lucozade Energy promo bottle. Look under the cap and find the code to win iPhones, TVs, and free Lucozade or 30,000 US dollars to energize your goals. See website, social media, or press for details. Lucozade, taste the energy.
I have a surprise for mosquito, roach, and flies. Pop makes all of them die. Don't bother with the long chat, Pop tell you why. Pop makes all of them die. To take care of my premises, I have to stand guard. Pop kill insects, small or large. When me use my yard, me no need no bodyguard. Pop takes care of roach in a house and yard. Surprise for mosquito, roach, and flies. Pop makes all of them die. Don't bother with the long chat, Pop tell you why. Get serious, get Pop.
Like us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/ramsupermarket. Follow us on Twitter, www.twitter.com/ramsupermarket. And subscribe to us on YouTube, www.youtube.com/ramsupermarket.
Welcome back to Island Tea with your favorite Kevon and Azem featuring Jade, Gwen Johnson. And it's time to jump into Eat Local with Othniel Hyliger. Welcome and good morning.
Good morning, sir. And how are you doing today?
Doing good. So we'd like to start off with you telling us a little bit about who you are and what it is you do.
Okay. Well, I'm Othniel Hyliger, as they would say. No stranger to WINN-FM, because I've been involved with WINN-FM, around WINN-FM, almost from the inception, from the construction phase, when they built the studio and everything. So, but I'm Othniel Hyliger, a Sandy Pointer, as most people would not like to hear sometimes. It has a problem with that. Born in Sandy Point, practically lived all my life in Sandy Point. I've been involved in many different things, and some of which I think you'll hear this morning according to the questions or the statements that are made. I'm the owner of currently OJ's Commercial Complex, prior to that, I used to be a building contractor of Hyliger and Hyliger, been in business for the last 40 years plus as a businessman.
Wow.
So, and as I said before, you name it, and I do it.
You sure?
Yes, I do that.
Okay.
But you see, it's interesting to hear you, make a statement like that, because I do believe if one is to look at the things that you've been involved in, the things that you've been doing, positions you've held, it does seem as though you are a man who is willing to try and find a way. And I want to know, where does that mentality come from? Is it something that's innate? Do you believe is it something that you were taught based on your upbringing? How do you develop that mentality of, but I just gonna figure it out and do it?
Well, it's interesting you ask that question in that way. I went to Sandy Point High School, and ever since I was in school, there are certain things that I always say I want to do. One of the key things really was that I wanted to be a building contractor. And I wanted to be one of, if not the biggest, building contractor in St. Kitts Nevis. And that I started to get myself prepared and ready from since about 1973, 74.
Wow.
And I reached to a stage where I employed up to like about 150 persons at any one time.
Wow.
Because I would have been able to run several projects all at the same time. And that is one of the main driving forces behind me. But being a building contractor, it meant that you really had to be au fait with all the skills in the trade.
Okay.
And because of that, I made myself available to learn as many things, as many skills that I could have at that time. So this
is even that as a young man, recognizing what you wanted to do, you would have put yourself in position to learn as much as possible, is what you're saying?
Definitely. My mother used to say to me, "You ain't tired going to school." Because every course that became available, I tried to make myself available for it.
Right.
So it's like I went to technical college, as it was called back then, the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla Technical College, to do carpentry and joinery. But while in the college at the time, what I did the master course in radio, television, electronics.
Okay.
Where I built my own radio, built my own television, and all the different tools, equipment like oscilloscope, multi-testers, etc., etc. Those are some of the things which I got involved with. Then I also got into the mechanics, where I reached to a stage where I built my own engines. Okay. I used to be a sailor. I worked for Windjammer Cruises. Right. I had my own boat and everything also. Into farming, I had both animal husbandry and food crops. So as I say, you name it and I do it. I practically do everything within the construction industry as a trade.
So Mr. Hyliger, I just have a very simple question for you. How many hours are in your day?
It's interesting you ask a question like that. Because my mother used to say to me, "You work 28 hours a day, 8 days a week." That's what she said to me. As a matter of fact, there came a time when she actually stopped cooking for me. And the reason why she stopped cooking for me is because she decided that I wasted her food. Because when I leave home in the morning, I don't see her. When I get back at night, I don't see her. We live in the same house, sleep in the same house. Okay? Because of the hours that I work, I would leave home like 4:30, 5 o'clock sometimes that morning, get back home sometimes after midnight. Okay?
Wow.
When I'll say it this way, when I built OJs, there were times for like about a 6-month period, I never got anything more than like 2 hours sleep in one night.
Wow.
Wow.
But it takes
How did you manage to
commitment.
function?
Say again?
How did you manage to function? Because I can't do 2 hours of sleep and function.
Well, I'll tell you, it reached to a stage where one day I had to go into the bank to sign some documents. And when I go into the bank, it was about 9:30 in the morning. And time to sign off on a document, my hands just start shaking.
Oh.
So I had to take the other hand, hold it, signed, and then I went home.
To sleep?
I went home and I slept from about 11 o'clock that morning until 7 the next morning.
Your body
slept.
Your body clock out on you.
Yes.
Wow.
So what I do say to people sometimes, you can't overwork your body. It's going to talk to you. It's going to shut down on you. So I've got that experience. Okay? So.
Well, we just spoke about, building the complex.
Yeah.
And we've seen how that has mushroomed and evolved over time. Is it that you've had a vision for what you would have wanted to see develop there from the start, or is it something that, as time goes on, ideas come and you implement? Like, what's the process? Because we see the gas station and the food stall there, the bar there. You also now have several conference rooms that are used for a variety of different things. You have the stores in one section. Is this something that has been in your brain all these years, or is it something that just kind of comes as it goes?
It's interesting you ask that one again in that way. Because, as I would say it now, it's a dream which I had because I always decide that when I get to a certain age, I don't want to work for anybody and I don't want to be working. So you had to set a plan. As you say, you make a plan and then you work your plan. To start with, it took me 15 years from the day I applied to when I got the land.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay? And that was because of what I knew that I wanted. Location in business, location is everything. If you don't have the proper location for accessibility, you're going to have problems.
Yeah.
Okay? So what happened is that I applied for the land under one administration. I did not get it. I applied again under the other administration, and I finally got it. And then when I started, there was all sorts of challenges which I would have had. As a matter of fact, most of the people who were around me, who considered friends and so on, always said to me, "It can't work, it don't make any sense." Right? I go to the bank told me that who is going to be buying gas 24 hours a day at midnight, after midnight?
Wow.
The lack of vision.
Right? But then having traveled, I must admit, that's something which I've done quite a bit also. And I look at the outer world and see what's happening outside there. I recognize that it's only a matter of time before certain things start happening in Little St. Kitts Nevis.
Right.
And not only that, you look at, I did my own little research, little studies, and you looked at the young people who are going to universities. And if you were to check it, maybe about 90% of the people who go to university, when they come back, one of the first thing they want to do is to buy a car.
Yeah.
Instead of looking for a house, they look for a car.
Right.
And since the car is not going to run on pipe water, they have to find something to fuel it,
Right.
to power it. So that is the reason why I looked at it and I studied and what's not and so on, and recognized that I think this would be one of the better things to do. But there were other gas stations. And I recognized, look, if you're going to do that, you can't operate just like all the other gas stations.
Right.
You have to be different. You have to come with something different. And that's what I did. As I think you're aware that I opened the gas station in 2001. 24 hours.
Wow.
And I'll tell you this much, is that when I started, it wasn't easy. For the first 24 hours of operation, I made $180 something. And I had 20 something staff to pay.
Wow.
Okay? So when you think of it, it wasn't easy. But as anybody who really know Othniel, I'm not a quitter. And it's going to work.
Right.
And that's what happened.
So you had a unrelenting belief in your vision.
Definitely.
So you said that your first day was pretty slow. Did you?
I wouldn't say slow. It was dead.
I was being modest. You had a dead first day. Did you see that happen, and did you make adjustments right after that happened to make sure things kind of go up from there, or did you kind of try to keep the same process going to see?
Well, we kept the same things going. As a matter of fact, when I started the gas station, I had some discussions with a couple of friends. And I'll say it this way, a lot of people don't even know, but Michael Powell, for me, was one of my greatest supporters. Two of us got along very well. And he had some suppliers out of like Puerto Rico and so on. And that's where I got my first set of supplies from, my first set of inventory.
Yeah.
I got them from him on consignment because I didn't have any money to pay them. So what happened is that I got this stuff from him and also from the guy in Puerto Rico. I put them on my shelves and I would pay them when they come back if I got them sold. So if I don't sell it, I don't have to pay for it.
Okay.
And that's what happened. And that is what started the business. So then as time go by, by the end of the first month, things had to really start looking up.
Okay.
Okay, and then being a new thing in St. Kitts, people hearing about it. Then as you know, as we say, young people like to party, so they go to party. And as also Hosford's Valuemat gas station and Texaco and all of those, they close at 11. So when they close at 11, everybody rushed to the gas station to get gas.
Right.
But now OJs came into being. What you found happening is that people stopped rushing to the gas station to get gas.
Because there's no gas available.
Because now they can come to OJs and get gas.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. And as time go by, the word spread. And around the same time too, BJ started Island Gold. I don't know if you remember Island Gold program on WINNFM.
Oh,
right
yes,
here.
yes, Island Gold, yes.
And I was one of the sponsors of it. So I would advertise on Island Gold. And there are times when I would come in and speak with BJ and talk about the gas station and so on. And then the word starts spreading and people start hearing about OJs. As a matter of fact, there was one famous announcer who said to me, why I call the business OJs, because there was Shell and there was Texaco. So why I want to say OJs? If I'm getting my supplies from Delta at the time, why don't just call it Delta? He said nobody know about OJs.
Interesting.
I said that's not a problem. OJs would become a household name.
Yeah, build your brand.
And that's what I did. And I must admit now, who don't know about OJs, the who isn't around. Okay? So that is how it is for me.
Trust me, I have friends that are so thankful that OJs is 24 hours because
Saving lives.
Sometimes they forget gas, they're low on gas and we out and you know.
So many times I have somewhere to go late at night and I completely forgot to go, like a party or something, and I completely forgot to get gas during the day, and I'm just like, oh, no worries, OJ's right there.
And not only that, because you have business establishments at your complex that are also 24 hours.
Yeah.
Saving our lives nightly.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll take it a step further, where I have said to some persons, I am responsible for lots of families being together in St. Kitts still. Because you know how we operate from time to time, and you go out, you leave home, say you're going to pick up something because the restaurant is there. So, you know, we used to go to Uncle T's prior to.
Right.
And you say you're going by Uncle T's. But then you're gone somewhere else.
Oh, boy.
And Uncle T's closed down and you ain't got what you got to buy.
Oh, boy.
But then you end up by OJ's. You get what you wanted and you go back home, you have it.
You have it in hand.
So you can't say I didn't go to Uncle T's. Right? And you keep the relationship together.
Right.
So there was one, and this, what I'm saying, it's real. This is not a story that I'm putting together. These are what really happened. I remember there was this one guy who said to me that I saved him. I made him a relationship. In that he keep trying to get to this girl, and every time she gave him an excuse. And then one night she called him around 11 o'clock and said, you always say you want to take me for a drive. Come, let's go.
Okay.
So when he come out in the car, tank and he needle showing E.
Oh, boy.
So it's no problem. We go by OJ's. So he came by OJ's, he got his gas, he also got something to snack on and a couple of drinks, and they went for a drive.
Oh, boy.
And that was the start of his life.
Oh, boy. Imagine
Look
that.
at you.
Okay?
I hope you're godfather to their kids.
So not only are you, you know, this businessman, but you're a matchmaker too.
Indeed.
You're a matchmaker.
Definitely.
There we go. A matchmaker and a relationship saver.
Oh, boy.
All in one, eh?
Yes.
I mean, it's so cool to hear you speak about what is possible when you have vision and you believe in your vision and you're able to put the effort and time that it takes to see that vision come to fruition. Because a lot of times I think we let people talk us out of things.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We let people talk us out of things.
Right.
And what I'm getting from what you're saying is there has to be some willingness to bet on yourself and be resilient in the face of this, that type of negative speech. Let's call it that way.
You really have to believe in yourself. And because of the way in which I think about myself, when you want me to do something, you tell me that it can't happen.
Oh, okay.
And that is my motivator.
It's going to drive you to make it happen.
Okay? All I want to do is to prove you wrong. I'll go back to back in the 80s when we formed the Small Business Association. I don't know if anyone of you would have remembered the Small Business Queen Show and the Calypso Show and so on.
Only Azem old enough.
Yeah. Azem like older than time.
Well, I was president of the Small Business Association at that time. And I remember we wanted to have the Calypso Show, Small Business Calypso Show with the late Ayatollah. He's still the reigning monarch of that because it never really continued because members did not pursue it. And Zwet Laws were the chairman of the Calypso Committee. And he said that he can't get the Calypsonism to come practice. It ain't going to happen, this ain't going to happen, and so on. And because of the kind of drive which I have, I said it cannot fail, not under my watch.
Right.
And I set out to do it. And it happened. It happened, like as I say, Ayatollah is still the reigning monarch, the late Ayatollah. The same thing with the street parade, the small business parade around Independence. When they said they only could get 5 troops. But then by the time I was finished, we had 35. And that is
maybe they to make it in parade no.
Well, no, I must admit, I think I've done my due. And in some instances, I would just give advice if it's requested.
No.
Because, like as I said, you name it, I do it. I've been involved with many, many organizations. From, as you say, from small business, a past president of JC's, past president of the credit union, Just
so many
recently,
things.
former chairman of the
You,
cable.
you imagine, you can't even remember because you have so many things.
You're struggling to remember which things you failed to mention.
And there are many more. I've been on regional organization, international organization where I sat on boards and so on. Yeah. You know, I remember back in the 90s, I was a part of the international organization in London, where I sat as a part of the advisory council. Right? So, for JCs, I've been a past convention director for the West Indies JCs.
Wow.
And as you say, there are many other organizations.
Mm-hmm.
In disaster management, I've trained people all across the entire region. Okay? In damage assessment, needs analysis, shelter management, you name it.
Wow.
I just want the time you have in.
Wow.
But while you're sleeping, there's a sign which I use. While you're sleeping, you're wasting time, eh?
Tell us to sleep when you're dead. Tell us to sleep.
Sorry.
When you're sleeping, you're wasting time. You don't have time. How productive are you when you're sleeping?
Very.
Very productive.
What? It depends on what your goal is and what you're trying to produce.
Yes. That is a fact.
If you're trying to produce dribble, then you're nobody better than you. But I think that you know, you said you've been involved in business now for 40 years at least.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I mention here a lot on the show is how important legacy is. And just being around you from time to time, I recognize that that is something that is obviously important to you. You're building all of this. You have worked. How important is legacy and passing on all that you've built? How important is that to you? And is has that been a motivator all along, or is that just something that is now something you think about?
Well, I'll tell you this much, is that for me, leaving a legacy behind is very important to me. In that, practically, I'll go back to even the organizations that I've been involved with. And up until today, I was president of JCs back in '96. And up until now, there are some persons who still refer to me as Mr. President. That is because of what I would have done. As a matter of fact, your father, Azem, was a part of JCs when I was there.
Right.
And he was one of the persons who motivated me to doing the things that I have done so far in JCs. Okay? So when you think of it, a legacy, leaving a legacy behind is something that I always think about. When you look at our elders, you look at the guys who would have gone on before us, and you hear about them. Lots of times people don't even know who the person is, but the name remains.
Right.
And my children, they are aware that the property which I have there called OJ's, it is not for sale. I've had many offers, and I tell them no money can buy it.
That's legacy property.
That is a legacy for me. It's a landmark. It is something that you refer to if you want to tell somebody where to go. How many miles past OJ's, or when you go you meet OJ's,
Before
and you can
OJ's.
get this or what's not and what's not. It has about 15, 16 different businesses within that complex as it is now.
Wow.
Okay? And I must admit, it's not the end.
More to come.
There's more to come.
Yeah.
Did we just get another exclusive?
But I mean, it's so true. You talk about everything from the gas station to food and beverage to salons to insurance. Like it's
Everything up there.
You have a legal law. If you do something and get in trouble,
you come OJ's.
You can come OJ's. There's a lawyer there too.
and then you could celebrate because there's an event space too.
Exactly.
And there's an event, not just an event space, but there are event planners.
There you go.
They can plan your marriage. They can organize everything. They can do the catering. Everything can be done there. And when you finish, when you're finished doing all of that, you have to clean up my place.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a cleaning
There's a
company.
cleaning there too.
Okay? What I try to do at OJ is not to allow any business to compete against the other. They
right.
all support each other. If you want your fine wines and all those kind of things and your special Italian products, you can get them there too.
Right.
All the cold cuts and everything, they're there. There's a company there.
What? OJ have everything, man.
Yeah, that mentioned earlier. And there's more to come.
And parking, unlike most businesses, is not an issue at OJ's.
Oh, thank God.
We can park over 50 vehicles in the complex.
Wow.
But trust me, that's a huge thing.
So, as I say, I try to think about everything to make it as comfortable as possible.
Right.
To not just the customers, but the tenants, to make certain that they have what they want.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, the truth is that I wish we could have spent time speaking even more.
Yeah, so we could hear about what's coming next.
Yeah. But that just means he got to come back in a Kevon.
Right, of course.
It just means he have to come back. But, I mean, with all this going on, we really want to thank you for taking the time and coming and hanging out with us and having a conversation. I believe that there's been so many gems dropped this morning, and I'm looking at some of the comments. People are saying big things always start small. I love the I love that mindset, not for sale. So you have some people on the live who've really been extracting lots of good information from what you've been saying here
gems
this morning. And I mean, we've probably never spoken about this, but I always appreciate when I get an opportunity to speak to you. I really do see you as an inspiration. And so right here, publicly, I'd like to thank you for everything you do. And, just being there and thing, because I really appreciate you and the things you're doing. As somebody who hopes to be, like you say, at a position where not only not working for nobody, but not working forever.
Yeah. Yes.
I look at you and I always manage to find something that I could take and internalize and use myself. So I appreciate you so much for that and for just coming and having a conversation right here on Island to this morning.
Well, I'd like to say at this point in time, thank you very much. And I am available because, as you know, I don't work for anybody. I decide when I spend and where I spend my time.
What a flex.
But yeah, big flex,
I don't work for nobody.
I wish I could say that, but I'm not here every day.
I must admit, like as I said before, I used to work 28 hours a day.
Right.
So at this point in time
You've earned it.
Okay, as a senior citizen collecting my social security.
Okay.
Right? I don't think that I should be working for anyone.
I feel you.
Okay? So that is where it is for me right now. And I always listen to your show, as you know.
Yeah.
Okay? My radio on my complex is on 24/7 as long as there's electricity. The radio is on. And like as I said, from WINNFM point of view, since WINNFM came on stream, my radio is actually stuck on WINNFM. I don't know if I switch it to another station, if it would work.
I don't think you should test it either.
So we might have to give you an award for longest running listener.
Yeah.
This guy's 24 hours. So
JTB got some competition.
Okay, so as I say, I'm available. You need me, just let me know and I'll make myself available.
Because
I love the program. I love your energy. The energy that you all bring to the airways. Okay? It's great. And you have, I guess, a whole lot of followers out there who like to listen to your conversation because sometimes they can be very thought-provoking. Okay? So.
Who would have thought?
Yes, it is.
I just generally provoke.
He said, I just think if you're trying to say our confusion ways, our confusion conversations.
Oh, it's good.
We'll take it.
Yeah, man, for sure.
And we appreciate you coming, taking time out of your 28 hours to lend us, what, about 30 minutes out of it? Because I know, we know you have a very packed day.
Well, as he would tell you, many times he call, I would tell him I either vertical
horizontal.
Okay.
So what did it to get me happening?
Yes. Okay. Thank you all.
Yeah, man. But guys, it's been a great day here on Island T with Media SKN. Thanks everybody for tuning in. All you guys on the live, you guys been going crazy. I love the camaraderie that I see on the lives. And if you want to be a part of that community, you could make sure you join us every morning 8 to 10 on Facebook or on YouTube at WINNMedia SKN. Those of you who listen on the radio, man, thank you so much. All the businesses like OJ's who keep the radio stuck on Win FM and listen to Island Tea in the morning. Appreciate it. And if you're working somewhere and your employer don't put Win FM, I don't tell you already quit.
Makes sense.
Or you could just ask them to put it on.
I mean, that would be
that's an alternative.
We don't have to choose violence all the time.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, let's go for that then. Tell your employer that they need to change the radio station.
Or if they don't, you will then quit.
Oh, right. Right. You see,
this is not legal advice, everyone. If you need legal advice, you can go to the lawyer at OJ's Complex.
Oh man. But guys, thank you so much for joining. Remember, deal with everybody with love and grace, guys. Especially now, we really need it. I'm really hoping everyone listening under the sound of my voice overcomes whatever obstacles they have in their way today for the rest of the week. Before we leave, there's a word of wisdom on top of all the words of wisdom that somehow we managed to extract this morning. Somehow, I don't know what's happening. But there's one more little nugget that I would like to leave with you, and it comes directly from the Duke of Frigipe, the Prosecco Papi, the Slim Rod, the Chapstick Don, the Pope of Hygiene, the man himself, Kevon Hanley.
Thank you. Because remember that you you can't be everybody's cup of tea because you is not a mug. See you tomorrow.